Welcome to Mama Bear's Manifest. Turn your dreams into reality to create a naturally abundant, healthy lifestyle. I'm Sherilyn, your host. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Suzanne Roynon, a leading international interiors therapist and feng shui expert. Suzanne helps individuals transform their spaces to improve their relationships, health, and overall satisfaction in life. She is the author of the award-winning bestseller, Welcome Home: How Stuff Makes or Breaks Your Relationship, and has shared her insights through various media outlets, including the BBC and multiple lifestyle magazines. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you so much for being here today.
Carolyn, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on.
Well, I'm very curious to hear more about your interiors therapy 5-step process. It's designed to help people prepare to manifest the future they desire. So, can you walk us through this process and explain how it can be applied to manifesting health and abundance?
Absolutely. So the interiors therapy process, as you say, is 5 steps. And what I describe it sometimes is, it's kind of Marie Kondo on steroids, because we are looking so differently at every part of your home. When people do a little bit of decluttering, clutter inevitably comes back. And that's telling me that you've got stagnation, you've got obstacles, you've got pressure and stress in your home that you really don't need. So the 5-step process starts with getting clarity. Now, this is where you look around your home and anything that makes you miserable, gives you bad memories, doesn't fit you, doesn't suit you, is broken, all of those things are bringing you down. And it doesn't matter how much money you paid for them or what that gift was. If it was a gift, say, from a very toxic former partner, having it there in your home is not doing you any favors at all. So what we do first and foremost is we identify all of this stuff that isn't working for you and we release it. So that's the first part of the process. Right around the home, start in your bedroom, start in your wardrobe, because that's your stuff and nobody else's. Pick out everything that doesn't suit you, doesn't work for you, let it go. Stage 2 is clutter. Now, everybody knows the basics of clutter, but you might not realize that your clutter is individual to you. So, the stack of magazines that your partner thinks are clutter might be very important to you for a completely different reason. So anything that is clutter needs to go. That creates a lovely, new, fresh space in your home to fill with something better. We're talking about manifesting here. We're talking about bringing new, wonderful things into your life. The fact is, if you don't make space for them, they can't come in. Simple as that. So stage 3 is to really deep clean, to get organized, and to show your home the love it deserves, because your home is the foundation of all parts of your life. If your home isn't working for you, and we'll get on to a bit of feng shui in a minute, I hope, but if your home isn't working for you, then no other part of your life is going to be as successful as it could be. So that's stage 3, to clear. Stage 4 is to consolidate. And this is where we bring in the fabulous energy of feng shui to help our homes exude positive energy and squish away the negativity. Now, every home, every single home, no matter what, has pockets of negativity. You can allow them to control your life, or you can remedy them with feng shui. It's a choice. What I also love to do, and it's slightly more woo, but hey, we're in great company here, we're manifesting, so is a space clearing ceremony. Because once we've got rid of all that clutter and we've created this wonderful new space, we want to fill that space with positive new energy. So rather than bringing new stuff in, we want to bring positive energy to flow into every part of our homes. So we can do that with a space clearing ceremony. And then the final stage, and this is the bit I like best, is create. And this is where we manifest the life we want for ourselves. Now, this could be a job, a relationship, a new home, can be anything that you want. Because once you've cleared the decks, you allow that lovely new energy to come to you, and manifesting is just so much easier. And I've been talking to people just in the last week about the new jobs they've manifested, or the new partner that they've manifested. And it's just like, yes, this is how it is. I did promise you that things would change. And it's just like, yeah, but they've changed more than I could possibly have imagined in a very short time. That's how it goes when you make space for something new and better to come into your life.
That is really amazing because in a way, what you just said makes me think of, we think of energy work as completely something. The energy work that I have done is actually completely in the energy field. I don't even have to be in the same room with the woman or talk to her or anything. It's just but our physical environments, also everything in our environment also contains energy, right? And so if you're moving things around your home, you're actually moving energy, right?
You are. Absolutely, you are. And when you get into the deeper stages of feng shui, you can actually use certain items to boost the feng shui energy around you. Now, if, for example, you want to boost your wealth area, there are certain things you can do to do that. If you want to, if you can see behind me, that particular part of my home is all about new beginnings. It's new opportunities. And there are a couple of pictures there of beautiful paths, through the trees, and they're lovely and wide. And it's also my book, because I love the energy of my book. But also I've got a money plant there because, hey, well, let's have some new money as well. Thank you very much. And feng shui divides your home into 9 specific areas. Well, if you, what we call, activate those areas, you remedy the nasty energy away, you boost the good energy, but then you activate them they sort of go into overdrive with what you're looking for, whether that be money or love or health or a new opportunity, a changing career, or just that promotion that you really deserve and you have been waiting years for. And then suddenly you sort this stuff out, and it's like all of the obstacles between you and where you want to be just fall away. It's incredible, and it's so exciting to watch.
Wow. So you say there's 9 different areas. Is there a separate area for wealth and health, or are those both contained in the energy of
No, they're all, so there are 9 specific areas to the house. So let's just run through them quickly. We'll go from the north round the compass. So the north is about your career, or if you don't have a career, it's about your life path. So say, for example, you are a stay-home mom. That doesn't diminish you in any way. You still have a life path. So the north is about that path that you're choosing. The northeast is about knowledge and spirituality and learning. So this is where you might have your meditation space. It might be where you encourage the kids to study, or if you're doing further education, that's where you study, because it's a really supportive environment to work in. The east, next one round, is about the family and the past. So, and it also sort of represents your community as well, but let's focus on family for the moment. So that would be you, your siblings, your grandparents, your parents, aunts and uncles. It's that kind of anybody from 12 or 13 upwards. Photos in the east, please. That will support your energy better. But it's also a great place to keep your old tax records. And if you're divorced, it's the place to keep your divorce papers so that they don't impact on any new future that you're looking for. So that's a really, really useful place to work with. Your southeast is about money, wealth, and abundance. Now, people always assume that abundance is about cash. But abundance can just as easily be an apple tree full of apples, or tomatoes, or in my mum's situation right now, mice.
An abundance of mice.
An abundance of mice, which are not a welcome addition.
Could it be an abundance of health also?
Well, we'll come to health. We'll come
Oh,
to
okay. So
health because
that would
that's
be
a
fun.
different
Okay.
part of the home.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, so this is about money. It's about, where you would activate the area to encourage a windfall or something like that,
Oh,
very,
okay.
very, very nice place to work with. In the South, it's all about your fame and your reputation. Now, this isn't about going on Dancing with the Stars. This is about how you are seen by others in your community, in your church, in your work, how we're seen right now on the internet with what we're doing. It's about our fame, it's about our reputation. So it's really, really important that we stand in our own light and we walk our talk. And that, if you do that, your fame and reputation is going to work for you. But you can also activate it by, say, for the sake of argument, if you did want to be on Dancing with the Stars, just put a little picture of the logo there,
Oh.
something like that. So you can activate the energy. Where do you want to be seen? Let's put the logo of that show or that podcast or that radio program, that magazine into space. The Southwest is the one that so many people just rush into trying to activate without balancing out the rest of the house. And it can make things go a little bit skewy because this is about relationships. And it's primarily about the romantic relationship with a significant other. It's also about your relationship with yourself. And I think once you get as mature as me, you realize that if you don't love yourself, you aren't going to attract the right kind of person to love you back. So it's really, really important that you actually focus on your self-love, your self-development and growth before you expect to get somebody worthy of you into your life. And if you already have somebody in your life and they aren't treating you the way you deserve, well, you just need to take a step back and look at how you're treating yourself,
Mm-hmm.
And to a lesser degree, it's about the relationships with other people, work colleagues, and so on. But we really focus on the self and the significant other. The next area is the West. And this is about new opportunities, new beginnings. So if you're going to do a new project or you're wanting to start a family, this is the place to activate. The next one is the Northwest. Gotta say, this is one of my favorite places because it's about travel and it's about helpful friends. And I just love traveling. I'm traveling to the States in November, so I'm available to work in person
Oh,
with people
wonderful.
in mid-November. How exciting is that? Last time I was there, I was working in Washington and I was working in Texas. So, come on down and tell me where I'm going next. It's very, very exciting to know. But you can activate wherever you want to go. So, for example, in my kitchen, I have this beautiful board and it has all of the lovely places I'd like to visit. A couple of years ago, I had a fabulous picture of Venice. And then my daughter went to Venice. And, because she'd activated it, having looked at this energy in the kitchen all of the time. The other energy there in the Northwest is about helpful friends. And these aren't the people who you would go to have a meal with or out for a drink. This is the plumber, the electrician, the guy who arrives to change your tire when you have a blowout on the road and you just, there's nobody for miles. These are your helpful friends. You might call them angels. Quite often you don't know them. They're complete strangers. They come into your life, they do what's necessary, and then they leave it. And they are amazing, amazing people to just be party to. And then the area that you've been so interested in, the health, that is in the center of your home. So, in many, many homes, especially here in the UK, there are sort of storage cupboards and closets which are full to bursting with clutter and stuff. And then people wonder why they're having problems with their digestion, their weight,
Oh my
their
goodness.
mental health. And it's all reflected in what's sitting there in the center of their homes.
Oh my goodness.
So depending on what people are looking for. When somebody comes to me and they say, I'm having these challenges, I'll say, right, the place we need to look first is the center if it's their health, or the southwest if their relationship's struggling, and we'll go looking for causes of problems and just to release that energy and help them move forward.
Wow. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm going to have to rearrange my house now. This is really fascinating because I know there's definitely something to energy, and that the lady who helps me with my energy work, one thing that she said one time is ha cars are people and houses are families. And she's speaking metaphorically. And like for example, my mom had heart trouble, and one time her car engine just died, just the engine just completely
Mm-hmm.
died. And my friend said, well, at least it wasn't her heart. It's like the energy was able to do that
To
to the
dissipate
car
out. Yeah,
and not in her physical heart. And so there's definitely a correlation, and our energy can manifest in different ways. And one of those is our home. And so
exactly.
I was just thinking about my the center of my house because you were talking about health, and I'm pretty sure that's where we have the TV right now. And I'm curious, like where would that's a big that's something almost everybody has as a TV.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what would be the best area of the house for that?
Well, you can put anything in any part of the house.
Okay.
That's not a problem. We have to be realistic here.
Yeah.
One of the things I talk about with my clients is, look, we're real people in real homes. We have TVs, we have PlayStations, we have rubbish bins. It's just how do we manage it so that they impact on us least of all. So yes, you've got a TV there. Well, as long as it's not sort of surrounded by a jumble of cables and a load of mess, you don't keep
Mm,
a bin there that's overflowing. I mean, in our home, our bins are in the center. There isn't anywhere else to put them. I have this
yeah.
very lovely, cute little apartment, which works brilliantly because I can just lock up and leave and fly off wherever I like. Very
Hmm.
supportive for flying off wherever I like. But the bins are there. So we don't let the bins get full or get
Hmm.
smelly. The
Hmm.
bag goes out,
Hmm.
the bins are refreshed. And this is what you do. You look at each area of your home and you notice where the clutter is stagnating. Now, you talked about your mom and her heart.
Hmm.
So the root of the word clutter is clot. If you think about what a blood clot does to the body, it can damage the heart, it can cause a stroke, it can cause an aneurysm, it can cause DVT, all of those things. It basically blocks the energy from flowing around the body in the bloodstream. So the clutter in your home is doing exactly that to the flow of positive energy around your house.
Oh, yes.
So when you look at it from that perspective, that pile of newspapers or magazines or boxes or stuff that the kids don't play with anymore, the things that you've stacked up ready to take to Goodwill, but they've been there for 2 months by the door, that is all contributing to you feeling pretty fed up about everything.
Mm,
So if you
hmm.
deal with that stuff and you allow the energy to flow more freely around your home, you will benefit. Every part of your life will benefit.
That's amazing because it affects our mindset, right? They're very connected. And along those lines, a lot of times I've heard you talk about clutter as not necessarily what we would think of as clutter, like a pile of something. It could be something that I've heard you talk about like a mug that somebody gave you, but every time you use it, I heard you say this in one of your other interviews, just for a split second, you're thinking of where that came from. In fact, now that I think about it, I've got a couple dishes that are like that. I hate to use them. I don't like using them because
Mm.
every time I remember where I was when I got them, and it's like something like that. There could be nothing wrong with it. There might not be a big pile, but that might be something you might want to get rid of. But a lot of times we have an emotional attachment, or it can be difficult to get rid of stuff because it can seem like too much, especially if it's something like photographs That if we know that, like you mentioned, Marie Kondo, and one of the ways that you know if you need to get rid of something is you don't really think about it. It's just you hold it, and how does it make you feel? Does it bring you joy, right? Does it light you
Hmm.
up? And if not, and that can apply sometimes to even photographs or things like that. So
Totally.
what would you say to someone who's having trouble overcoming that emotional attachment?
So the reasons that people tend to hold on to things that they know aren't good for them: habit, it's always been there; fear, oh my God, will I be able to get another one if the apocalypse comes;
Yeah.
guilt,
Uh,
oh, somebody, such and such a person gave this to me, so if they come around and it's not here, they'll be offended;
mhm.
confusion, I don't know why I'm keeping this, excuse, excuse, excuse. The last one, which is it's a really hideous reason to keep something, but it happens a lot with divorces, and relationship breakdown, is spite.
Yeah.
You are not letting your ex have their entire vinyl
Oh.
collection because you know it's going to hurt them,
Mhm.
by not having it. So that's a really bad reason. So the situation is, if you were given something by somebody else, that energy is now yours. You choose what to do with that item, and
Mm.
it's nobody's business but yours. Take these bowls that you have. You're aware that each time you use them, you don't enjoy it. So when you put food or whatever you put into them, you're imbuing that with that, I don't like this very much,
Mm. Wow.
So
And then I put it in my body, right? I'm getting
yeah,
rid of those as soon as this interview is over. It
absolutely.
just
But
it clicks now. It makes sense.
yeah, but photos are really interesting things. So if you've got pictures of, sometimes you get those family photos, don't you? And everybody's sort of sitting there and they're looking, oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. But if you talk to somebody, they'll say, yeah, we just had the most enormous row and
Mm-hmm.
we were all really gritting our teeth. Whenever that person looks at that photo, they're not saying, oh, what a beautiful family. They're saying, that was the time he said that to me,
Right.
or one of the kids did this, whatever. It is not healthy to keep those photos on display.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not healthy for your children to keep photos of them much younger than they are now on display,
Oh, interesting.
because what you will do is you will keep them as younger children. So say you've got pictures of them when they were toddlers and they're now tweens or teens, they will behave like brats because those photos are triggering them to do that. They pull them back into the past. And it's all at a subconscious level.
Yeah.
But the subconscious dictates 95% of our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Our
Wow.
conscious level is just 5% of what
Oh.
goes on for us. And this is why, and I totally blame my subconscious for this. I know that I want to be 20 pounds slimmer, but my subconscious says, hey, let's have some chocolate, you know?
Yeah.
And so that it's really hard to fight against your subconscious. And that split second thing, whether it be getting the mug out of the cupboard,
Mm-hmm.
that it connects you to somebody from your past or an old job. I mean, lots of the time people keep mugs from an old job, and it's a job that they didn't even like, or they left under a cloud, and yet that mug sits there in their cupboard going, hey, here I am,
Wow.
and brings them down for that fraction of a second every time they open the cupboard. And that then can potentially pop them into a slightly bad mood. And then they
Mm-hmm.
miss the bus, or they miss the train, or the car won't start, or something goes wrong. And it's just like this spiral downwards. So with interiors therapy, anything that triggers you in a negative way, once it's gone, it never happens again. You've just taken, it's such a relief to just lift that off your shoulders and go,
Wow.
whoa, life is just so much clearer and nicer without this stuff.
That's incredible. It's another form of letting go. I was just talking to Sarah Dawkins about the power of letting go in terms of forgiveness. But it's really, you can look at it as very similar because it's letting go of an energy that was holding you down, right? Or blocking your path.
Always. Yeah. Always,
Wow.
always, always. And so, just give yourself that choice to say, no, I don't need this hanging over me. Thank you very much. I was talking to a lady a couple of weeks ago. She's in Pennsylvania and really, really lovely lady, but she felt like the weight of the world was on her. And we did one of my 30-minute walk arounds of her place, and it was quite small. So we actually started doing some work on this call.
Oh.
And I said to her, look, everywhere is cats, cat pictures, cat toys, cat trees, cat this, cat socks. And I said, just tell me about that. And anyway, we did a little bit of work. We cleared a cupboard. And then after that call, she just kept going. She was a little bit like a whirlwind, which was incredible. She wrote to me this week and she said, do you know, just that 30 minutes with you opened my eyes to how much I have been hiding myself under a security blanket of cat stuff to just
Wow.
try and manage a past trauma. And along the way, I've lost myself as a cat woman. And she said, I've released so much of this, and now there's room for me and my cats, not just the stuff,
Oh,
in our apartment. And now I'm ready to find out who I really am. And
that is so
I
deep.
got goosebumps
Yeah,
when
I
I
mean, I'm
read
getting
that.
them now too. Yeah. That's so deep. It's so much more powerful than
Yes.
people might imagine. It's like you're doing some heavy duty emotional work, just taking
Yeah.
care of your surroundings, right?
And I think as well, so when I do these 30-minute walk arounds, and of course that's my gift to everybody, is, instead of paying for the walk around, which other people do, you're going to get it free as a
Oh,
result of Mama
yes,
Bear's Manifest.
I can't wait to talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
So yeah, we walk around and I'll see things that you will have stopped seeing, and things
Mm,
that raise little red flags for me, and I'll ask you about them, and then suddenly it's just like, oh, yeah, actually, I am keeping that from habit or fear or guilt or confusion or spite. And it's not
mhm,
helping me. It's actually hindering me from the life and manifesting where I want to be, where I want to go, and what I want to do. So, yeah, that's a very, very useful thing to have a fresh pair of eyes. Just look around your home and ask those questions that you don't even know to ask yourself.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have one more question for you. Just if there's one key takeaway or daily practice that you believe is the most important for creating a supportive environment that fosters manifesting and healing, what would it be?
So once you've got the place clutter free, I
Hmm.
would absolutely say do your gratitudes each day. Be
Oh,
grateful for the amazing space that you have, the amazing life you have. Try and find 10 things to be grateful for every day, even if they're the tiniest things, having milk for your coffee, the kids getting up and going to school without a row,
oh,
anything like that, the car starting, it doesn't matter. You can
wow.
do things you're grateful for in the past, in the present, and also in the future. And that's where the manifesting comes in, because you can be grateful for having a smooth, safe journey to work. You can be grateful for having an incredible holiday or meeting somebody. And you don't need to say who or where or why, but meeting somebody who is going to help you in an amazing way today,
Mm,
and that doing the stuff for the future is just so powerful. And you can even, put a statement at the top of your gratitude book. So, say for the sake of argument, you are interested in bringing more money to your life. You can say, I'm so grateful that money flows to me easily and consistently in large amounts. You just put that into
mhm.
your gratitude book, and you're opening the way for that energy of money to come to you.
Oh, yes, that's beautiful because once again, our subconscious is what directs a lot of our lives. And when you're repeating things like that, it gets in there to your subconscious, right?
It really does.
So tell us a little bit about your book.
So, welcome home. How stuff makes or breaks your relationship. Let me just grab a copy.
Yeah.
Here's one I prepared earlier. Here we go.
Okay.
It is a super friendly book. That's the first thing. So people tell me it's like having me on their shoulder talking to
Mhm.
them, which is really great. And it works through the 5 stages of the interiors therapy process. And then it goes in, it's sort of, we have a little flirtation with feng shui. But the interesting thing is that when I wrote it, my publishers didn't believe that people could work out compass directions. So we used Western feng shui for it. I prefer to use traditional compass feng shui because it's so much more powerful. I mean, it's like supercharging it.
Oh, wow.
But then it also includes something called the Manifesto for Love, which is all about manifesting your ideal partner and cutting away all the dross, the losers, the abusers, and the ghosts. So you don't even give them any part of your energy. You are focused, pinpoint accuracy on the sort of energy that you want to bring into your life. And the manifesto process works for relationships. It also works for jobs and lifestyle changes as well. So it's a very, very useful thing to get to know.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, where is the best place for the audience to go to follow your work?
So interiorsTherapy.com is always the first place to go. You can find me on Instagram at interiors_therapy and on Facebook at Interiors Therapy. But if you just Google Suzanne Roynon, I turn up in all
Okay.
kinds of places. I mean, there are so many articles, homes and gardens, and as you said, the BBC and various radio stations. So it's actually quite difficult to avoid me sometimes.
You even worked with Architectural Digest, which
I
was
have
it.
worked with Architectural
Yeah,
Digest. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing. So, you also have a very generous free gift for the audience. You want to tell them about the Mama Bear Inspiration Call?
For sure. So the inspiration call is my 30-minute video walk around of your home. And we do this on WhatsApp. And you'll just fill in the form beforehand. Tell me what you're looking for, what's triggered you wanting to talk to me. And then we'll arrange a time and we will just literally walk around your home with you holding your phone up. And I'll ask you various questions about what's going on. There will be various things I see which will automatically tell me stuff that you won't. And I'll ask you about those things. And then at the end of the call, I'll explain to you, right, this is what I think would help you. But there is no requirement to do anything whatsoever. Normally that call is paid for, because there is a huge value to it. You're going to get
Definitely.
value and guidance and inspiration right there in that 30 minutes. You will not go away wondering why you bothered. You will absolutely be going away like the cat lady thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But yeah, so normally people pay for that, but for people who are here with the Mama Bears, it's my gift to you.
Well, that's very generous. Thank you so much. And if you're in the US, remember, Suzanne said she'll be here in November. So during your call, maybe you can discuss if you want to see her in person, that might be possible. So thank you so much, Suzanne, for taking the time to share your insights with us. And one more thing, all of those links will be available on the show notes page. And then later I will get them in the YouTube description as well. But everything's on the show notes, including the free gift, the link to the Mama Bear Inspiration Call. But thank you again so much for your generosity and also for sharing those insights with us.
My absolute pleasure. And thank you for creating such an amazing series of talks.